This is episode number 65 with Dr. Barbara Schwarck, CEO of Clear Intentions International, who has been helping people get unstuck and make powerful, lasting life changes for over 20 years. Dr. Schwarck is an award-winning, dual certified coach with extensive academic training in psychology, management, spirituality, and kinesiology. Through her extensive training, she created her unique Neuro Emotional Coaching, a cutting-edge coaching tool rooted in neuroscience, emotional intelligence with their implications for leadership, and the Muscle Testing 101 app, which is a tool for people who want to learn how to use kinesiology. What's interesting is that Dr. Schwarck and I share some of the same influences. We have Bob Proctor, my mentor and inspiration behind the work I started with youth, coming on our next episode, number 66, and Dr. Schwarck, like me, has studied his work along with many others. She's used her technique to successfully coach more than 1,000 CEOs, professionals, family business owners, and thought leaders who want to be effective leaders, strong performers, clear communicators, and difference makers. In her private coaching practice, clients work with her on topics like anxiety, depression, self-esteem, relationships, and personal growth. Last week, Dr. Schwarck and I spoke on a video conference, and she's located right now in Israel, and she wanted to demonstrate her work before we did this interview. I'm a firm believer in reading energy, even if you're not in the same room with someone. You can just feel it. And Dr. Schwarck is the most advanced person at this skill that I've ever seen. Through a Zoom video, she was able to tap into my energy field and find a few areas where my subconscious or my non-conscious mind was holding me back. Once we identified these two areas of work, we named them and we tamed them. And we talked about this just last episode with Greg Woolcott. He's working on the skill in the schools with students. And this showed me that no matter how much work we're doing on ourselves, there's always something we can do to improve. Welcome, Barbara. It's so nice to see you again.
Thank you. Thanks for having me on the show, Andrea. It's my pleasure.
Absolutely. This is exciting. And the excitement just keeps going because I started posting that, you were coming up this week. And one of my best friends from high school is being personally mentored by you, and she's out in Cyprus.
She's in Cyprus, and I'm in Israel, and we met a few months ago. She was a participant in a seminar that I took, Insight Seminars, and that's how we got connected to each other.
Well, it's a small world because here we are, you're in Israel right now, I'm in Arizona. And one of my good friends sends me a message saying, I can't believe you know Dr. Schwarck and she's going to be on your podcast. She was raving about the breakthroughs that she's personally had. So thanks for all the work you're doing. I'm so excited to just kind of dive deep into some of the ideas that you've been working with people with the corporate world and see if people can take some of these ideas to apply to their daily life right now.
Absolutely.
So just diving into our questions, Barbara, what do you think is at the root of becoming a stronger performer or a leader and to be able to communicate with clarity and effectiveness?
Well, first of all, Andrea, I think that's a really good question because I think a lot of people have that kind of question. And in my experience, the root of becoming a stronger performer, leader, and with that comes all the great things that leaders do, or they have, or they be, are your beliefs, the beliefs about yourself. And our beliefs are like a code that are imprinted into our consciousness. We've known this for thousands of years because when we look at literature, when we listen to songs, we've known this is not new to us. But now neuroscience is catching up to it. And neuroscience is actually saying, yes, it's actually true. So we know that negative beliefs create an imprint on our neuroplasticity. And if the negativity about your beliefs, let's say about being a great leader, is the majority of what you're believing, then that's what you're going to experience in one way or another. What we believe about ourselves has direct impact on who we are, what we do, and what we have. So for me, that is the sort of like the bottom line take a look at your beliefs. Sometimes it's not so easy for us to access them because they're subconscious. But some of the ones that we can actually access, we can take a look and we can decide, do they work for us, or is there something that we want to do about them to change them?
So what was interesting to me is I had a belief that I wasn't aware of. So can you just talk about how you dove in and found a belief that was probably affecting my results? How do you do that with somebody?
So first of all, I listen. So I listen to what you have to say. I listen to you energetically. I use my intuition, and I just sort of listen to your words very intently. Which, by the way, it was something that I wanted to talk a little bit about later. But it's one of the skills that you can actually practice that will help you really become a better leader, or a better a manager, and it also will help you with your emotional intelligence. So I listen, and then I use muscle testing to sort of confirm what my intuition is telling me. And then basically, I had you make an assertion about a belief, and when the muscle testing shows either it's either weak or strong, right then and there, it's kind of like your own personal lie detector. It shows you whether you are fully in alignment with that particular belief about yourself, or if there's something that is not aligning for you, so you're not really, you're not entirely congruent with it. And then I move into my technology to sort of remedy that and get you aligned with your belief, and so that we can you can have a different basis. So my whole thing is always, there's a lot of methodologies out there that will help you become a better leader. But for me, the most effective way is to just go take a deep dive and look at what is unconsciously, what is your source, what do you believe about yourself, and then if we can get to that and we can quickly change it, you will have faster results, because you don't have to work so hard. You don't have to run up the hill and say, yes, I'm a better leader, yes, I'm a better leader, I can do it, when deep down underneath you're still kind of like not buying into it.
It's that integration that I think is so important. Like when I think about people who've had quantum leaps in success, they've gone from maybe one level. I even think about our mentor, Bob Proctor. His seminars were doing well, doing well. Then he, by chance, was asked to do this movie, The Secret, that skyrocketed their company. It went from small seminars to now they're a full-fledged production company. And so for him, I know he had these tools to grow into the new experience that he was going through, but not everybody integrates the new belief or the new quantum leap that they took. So can you just talk about that for a second, of what would somebody do? Suddenly the results are, bam, totally different place. Now what?
Well, it's a good question. So if you look at all the people that were in The Secret, for some of them, that really was the launch pad of their career. They had been doing this for a long time, and they just, their career just really took off. There's Dr. Joe Dispenza, there's Bob Proctor, and there are a few others, but not everybody. Not everybody had that same experience about their career. So you really have to really be present. So if your results are all of a sudden skyrocketing and you're having incredible sales and you haven't really laid the foundation, and perhaps you don't even really believe in your worthiness and your ability to maintain that, then your universe once again is just going to show to you what your reality is. But if you're continuously you are working on yourself, and you continuously strengthen that belief that you're worthy, and that you deserve this, and this is good for you, and you want this, then I think it's a different story. So, and it matters, what is your motivation, what is your intention. So if you listen to Bob, yeah, it's not just all about making money. It's really about fulfillment, and being who you are and doing what you love, in the very best way and impacting more people than you can impact. So, his empire keeps getting bigger and bigger and bigger because he wants to touch more people. And so therefore, by default, he's making more money because he wants to touch more people. So it's like the cycle of abundance. He gives, he receives, he gives and receives, and he keeps working on himself and takes it, to a higher level and to the next level and to a next level and to the next level. So he has a really good model of how to work and use all those teachings that are available to us and make it work for him, and pull other people in so that they can benefit from it.
Absolutely. Think about a corporation too with these ideas. So how exactly would you suggest leaders engage their employees and create stronger teams or become a champion of positive change with these ideas?
So I think the key word is emotional intelligence. And what is emotional intelligence? It's just really a fancy word or a concept that deals with processing emotion. Again, we've known about this, but then, somebody comes along and they write about a concept that really makes sense, and then the corporations sort of get behind it and try to implement it. In the case of leaders, emotional intelligence, it's about being able to be with your employees and to be with their emotions and to help them, to guide them, to help them understand their processes, their emotion, and use the emotions in a powerful way. So, there's a lot of change that we're experiencing, especially right now with Corona and a lot of the challenging things that are going on in the United States right now. So when I have good understanding and a good way to encourage my employees to elevate their emotional intelligence, ultimately what that means is that I'm being empathetic and that I'm allowing them to have a human experience, which includes emotions, while they're working in the corporations to move, something forward. And with that comes skills like I can be empathetic, I can listen, I have social engagement, I have awareness, I have acceptance, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So it's the kind of gentler, softer side of a corporation, where in the past, I think we would have said, if I focus on those soft skills, then my company is not really making money. But when you look at the research, when you look at employee engagement, and when you look at emotional intelligence, it over and over and over shows that the companies that embrace emotional intelligence will grow faster. Because think about it, when you're in love, are you more likely to come to work and you're happy and you're like, maybe you have a spring in your step and be more productive, than when you're sad and you're upset and you're not liking your work? You're not going to be as productive because you just don't have the energy, or just don't feel like you're wanting to engage. So happier employees will move the company forward. And just while we're at it, there was another study that was done, and the study looked at what is it that employees most want, and it's not the money that they're interested in. Yes, sure, it's nice to be compensated well. More often, employees are looking for thank you, encouragement, gratitude, acceptance, appreciation, because again, that's what makes us feel good. And it will allow the leader, or the department, to move the company forward faster, and maybe in a more fulfilling way.
When you were talking, I was just thinking about a corporation I worked with where it was an incredible experience. All of our team members had some leeway with what we were allowed to do. We showed up and we did our job, but we were actually allowed to leave and go exercise. And we did that as a team. We had all of us jumped into someone's car. We all went to the gym halfway through the day and exercised. And I'm telling you, this was like we all gelled as teammates. It was definitely all of our jobs that we look back and say that was the best experience we ever had. But, that doesn't happen in every corporation. It didn't happen ever again. Thinking about that from a manager point of view, When you go in, do you talk about, the individual employee, like we talk about individual students? Do you talk about what individuals need to be successful in a corporation?
Absolutely. So, we're all different and we're unique, even though we have a similar experience and we're the same. So it's important that a manager will understand that one employee can't be managed the same way than another employee. It's like, if you're a parent and you have 3 children, or at least 2 children, you know that you can't talk to your children the same way. That they're different individuals. And as a manager, this is where coaching comes in. It's like you learn the nuances on how to manage your employees. One of the things that I tell my my executive coaching clients, that it's very, very important that it takes some time to get to know their key employees. Sometimes I coach people and they have 500, 1,000 people that they or maybe even more that they manage, and you can't have a scorecard on every single one of them. It's just not manageable. But you can take your key employees and you can write down some important things. And I say to them, find out how they like to be communicated with. Find out what's important. Do they need this kind of support, or do they need to just every once in a while you check in with them, or maybe they need more of a connection with you, and so that you can support them in the best way. So there's the employee that will show up from 9 to 5, and then 5 o'clock the employee goes home because they really need that sort of strong framework. And then there's other employees, they need 12 hours, and within those 12 hours they will get that done. And when you ask them to be at work at 9 o'clock exactly on the dot, it will be stifling for them. So as a manager, we really want to develop those personal relationships, and so that we can understand what our employees need, and what do we need to do, and so that we can champion them, and so that they will feel that they can put their best foot forward. And some of the companies, high tech, like look at Google. I don't know if you've ever been to Google. I used to live in Pittsburgh, so we have Google in Pittsburgh, and you go there and they have everything that you can imagine, from lots of different places to eat to a place where you can play music, and they have a gym, and it's all about being creative, so that when you find yourself in a tight spot, or you need to connect with people, or you need some new ideas, you can there's different ways for you to do that while you're on the premise, and you don't have to leave and go outside to to be more creative, or get a shot of creativity. So yes, absolutely. And I think a lot of people go and become entrepreneurs because they just have a different rhythm, and they need different things, and they can't see themselves in the corporation. So that when you're an entrepreneur, you can have some of those things, or create some of those things. Although there's a caveat to that. I think the millennials are changing the way the corporate work worlds, because they're much more demanding about me time and benefits, and having more of those that flexibility that you just talked about.
Absolutely. When we were talking earlier, I was asking about how you tapped into some of the areas I needed work on. How do you find that works in the corporate world? Some of these strategies, do you think it's well received now, or better received than it was maybe 20 years ago when I first started hearing about some of these techniques?
Yeah, so absolutely. I remember having my first experience with a Fortune 50 company, and I was all excited because I'm like, here I had this incredible tool, and I wanted to do good. So I was working with one of the high SVP at this company, and they were okay because they liked me and they trusted me. But yet it was, they shared that experience with HR, and HR came then to me. So I think 20 years ago, it was more difficult. Nowadays, there's more and more people that do energy work, and they talk about emotional intelligence, and so it's more receptive. And I think the mistake I made when I started this work is that I didn't know how to prepare my clients for this kind of work, because I was new to it, and they were expecting a sort of more traditional executive coach, and here I came and I wanted to muscle test them. And in the end, it was powerful for them, because again, when we have the opportunity to really find out what our core beliefs are, and we can change them and adjust them, it produces powerful results. So I learned a lesson that I had to prepare my clients, and I had to give them option if they wanted to do neuro emotional coaching with me or not. And today I find that most people come to me because of it. They want quick results, they want deep results, and that's the kind of coaching that I offer. So if somebody just wants something else, then I'm not their person, and that's okay.
Yeah, absolutely, because you did it very quickly with me, and it was an obvious thing that I knew about. It wasn't like it surprised me. It was something like, oh, that makes sense.
Right.
So for somebody that wants to learn more about your work, is the best way to go to clearintentions.net. And what are you offering right now? What are the programs you've got going on your agenda right now?
Yeah, so the best way to get in touch with me is through my website, clearintentions.net. If there's anybody listening right now that wants to have some more information about neuroemotional intelligence, I actually wrote my own model, and I've written a bunch of articles. The easiest way for me to connect with you is if you sign up for the newsletter and put the name of the podcast and the episode in the subject matter, and then I'll make sure that you get it. But right now, what I'm offering, and I'm super, super, super excited about it, I'm teaming up with somebody from Germany who's actually from Bulgaria, and together we're doing a 3-month coaching group, and we have 3 different groups going on. And one group is more for professionals who want to maybe take their career to the next level, and maybe work on their business. And then we have a group for individuals who want to work on personal things. And then we're going to do a group for teens, because right now I think it's super important that the teens get some extra support. So it's a 3-month coaching group, and the group is all about teaching you how to manifest things, and how to identify your beliefs, and how to change your beliefs. So there will be a combination of, I'm going to be working with people individually, and I'm going to be working within the group. There's going to be homework. It's very structured. I was born and raised in Germany, so I bring that to the table. But it's going to be, I'm going to take people through a process that you will be able to repeat. And so once you've been in the group and you did this for 3 months, you'll be able to say, aha, I was able to lose weight, and now I'm going to take my business to the next level. Or, I want to have a better relationship with my spouse, and here's what I did. And so now I'm going to have a better relationship with my mother. So I want people to walk away with a formula that they can use for the rest of their life, and so that they can take themselves to the next level, to the next level, to the next level. And in the process, we're going to change a lot of beliefs, clear out a lot of clutter, in our subconscious, and have amazing experience, and have the support. And what's super exciting, the other day I did a free coaching. I every Sunday I did a free coaching session that was open to anybody. We had all 3 religions on the call, okay, and I was like amazed on how deep the work went. We talked about being alive, being congruent with really, really, really being fully alive. And we had a Muslim on the call, we had a Orthodox Jew on the call, we had an Orthodox Christian on the call. And it was like, wow, we are all one. We are all the same, regardless of our cultures, our experiences, our religions. And we already have people from, Switzerland, from the United States, from Israel, from Cyprus. Like, People from all over the world will be coming together. It's a limited group. It's only 12 people. So if you're interested, go to my website. You can sign up. You can learn about it. It's called What's Next. And, sign up for my newsletter. There's a bunch of other goodies that you can find on my website. So I hope we stay in touch.
Absolutely. Well, I appreciate everything that you've done for me. Just this quick meeting, just last week I've met you, and suddenly I feel like we're good friends now. So thank you so much for everything. I'll continue to share your work as you come up with new programs, because I firmly believe in what you're doing. Thanks so much, Barbara.
Thank you so much, Andrea.